Moneyality with the Moneyalogist, Miss Tanya Collins.
2, 1, 0.
Moneyality.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moneyality with Tanya Collins, the Miss Moneyalogist. Tonight, I am so excited to be live. This is my first experience being live, so welcome everybody that is live with me, and hopefully I have you out here to participate and be able to interact with me. But in the meantime, I wanted to tell you that this week has been such a cool week for me. I am somewhat on a holiday break. I wanted to finish up November with a live so I could have some interaction and learn to let people know how to experience the moneyality effect with me. And hopefully I'll be able to answer questions and also be able to just continue to share insight. So in the past two podcasts, I have talked about how money will affect us around the holidays. Last week, I was talking about 10 tips that I would love for you all to go back on YouTube and watch. It's 10 tips that I shared with you about how to have conversations around the Thanksgiving or the family day table so we can prepare our families and these next generations on how to be better equipped with taking care of their money. Like how are you managing your money? And like really to kind of start dispelling the myths around having financial conversations and how we can build those conversations with broad questions and not be pointing fingers or coming across as being judgy. Because I know for me, sometimes I can come across probably kind of judgy, like what you do with your life, or are you gonna spend? You're finna. I used to say spend, of course, but we know we're circulating with moneyality. Are you circulating your money on things that are really not moving you forward in your life? But I have learned, I'm growing every day about how to position myself to be better equipped at giving suggestions without it appearing to be what would I say? Giving suggestion without it appearing to be control issues or trying to be giving demands or something of people of their time. So with that being said, I also want to talk about from the week before that, I gave 4 areas of how to while I tell you my mind is kind of drawing blank. It was about it was giving me talking about 4 mindsets of how the moneyality personalities deal with around the holidays. So that is something that has been very instrumental and important to me to actually be able to tell and share about how your money mindsets are conditioned to think around the holidays. And so a lot of that we'll be kind of talking about today as well. So with that being said, I want to talk about some growth that I've had since I spoke last week. Last week, I talked about how moneyality, and I showed a couple of visuals if you were watching it on YouTube, where you could see how I had started purchasing gifts for people. And it was so bizarre because I was purchasing gifts for my nephew, and then I had a picture of him holding like his ABCs and all that, and he had all these bikes and things in the background, and I laughed so hard because I realized that if he was probably posing for that picture, it was not because he was so in love with that educational gift. It would have been because he probably was, my sister probably had said, oh, take this picture for your auntie to see that you got your gift. Well, now I always say I'm doing so much better with that. But since then, some other things that I am just really feeling like I'm growing on is that I was in a grocery store recently, just like small little things. Like I was in a grocery store recently and I was thinking, are these things on sale? Or you remember, if I have to back up, I am a keeper, which is one of the 5 moneyality types. So let me go back and say those. If there are 5 moneyality types, there is a splurger, which is a person who does excessive circulating of their money. Then there's a keeper, which is a person who is pretty much a frenetic saver. They save, they are the bargain hunters. And then there's a tracker, which is a person who saves, but they are saving toward their future. They are great planners. They like to see their money and they like to plan out how they're going to use it throughout their life, even from beginning as a child. And then there is the adventurer, which is a risk taker, someone who goes back and forth with, they trying to cross the edge. Sometimes they are very risk taker, meaning that they pay their bills, but they may not pay them on time, so they'll take a risk on, is my lights going to get cut off, and things like that. And then you have the mingler, which I always say is the person who really believes that money is not relevant. They don't really care about money, but they also have to understand that it does take that tool of using money as a tool to function within this world, and how they build their friendships and things like that. So those are the 5 moneyality types. So I'm going to go back to me being a keeper. So over the week, I was a keeper in the grocery store, and those are my harder places to be. Like, I love grocery stores, and to be in a grocery store, you don't always go in there. I mean, you have a sales paper, but of course, everything you want may not be in a sales paper. So I was looking and I was thinking, wow. Oh, let me back up. When I walked into the grocery store, there was a clearance ad, and I mean a clearance aisle, and I was like looking at that, and I was so excited. You would think that it was Christmas time for me. I was looking at it, and I was so excited, and I was like, wow, they had a lot of great things on that. On that aisle. So I was able to try. I always like those places because they have like organic things, and they have things that a lot of people wouldn't want to try. So that's the opportunity to get to try them because they are discounted. And I love trying organic things. I love the idea of eating healthy, but sometimes we know that those prices are gouged up higher. So I was able to purchase some things off of that aisle. I actually have I'm so for real about it. I actually have a sticker where it was 50% off, and it's this new juice I'm trying, and it's an organic blood orange drink, and it's really good. I like it. It's kind of got a water base, but hey, I loved it, and it was on sale, and I got to try it. So that is a plus for me. But I also was able to see that I saw some things that were pricey that were not on sale. And I kind of weighed about it a little bit and thought, oh, do I want those? And I did get them. So there's lots of growth that I see in myself as I move through this path of understanding moneyality and understanding how to share it with you guys. I mean, it's something to be able to guide your life and be able to kind of have some ideas about why you're making those choices, why are you making those purchases, and to stay firm. And it's discipline, just like in most things, you have to be disciplined in understanding which direction you want to go. But hey, you got the discipline. I mean, at some point, no one is trying to be in a position where they may lose their homes or, even dare not become homeless. And all of that is not always based on a financial issue. So I'm not wanting us to say, oh, everybody homeless is based on finances. Some of those things may be different reasons of why they're doing it. And by all means, I don't know all of those reasons. But I will say that if we are in a position where we have a job and we may have children and we got nieces, nephews, we got parents and things like that, this is a time where we need to consider taking the Moneyality assessment, which is going to be on my website, and that is going to be coming soon. I'll just make a really great announcement about that when it's up and running. but you'll be able to go to the assessment and gauge, not gauge, and know what are your moneyality types and how each one of them affect you. So with that being said, that's kind of like an intro of my growth for this week. But tonight, coming on live is like a really cool experience for me. But we're going to be talking about, is the holiday money mindset in line with your bank account? So does that mean, do you have money in your bank account that is going to be able to support your idea of circulating for gifts and all the purchases that you may or may not want to do? And we're kind of going to go over some of the things that I talked about previously, as far as, are we budgeting for those things? Have we put money aside for those things and stuff like that? But before I deep dive into that, I do want to give sponsorship notice to people that have been supporting me through this podcast. This podcast was started in October, so I'm finishing out my second month, and I'm really, really proud of that, because it's something to have a podcast and to be able to have great help with it. And tonight, I am also honored to have my favorite producer back, and we're going to start off with her advertiser, which is Joy Media Group, and that you can reach her at www.joymediagroup.net, and the phone number is 901-618-9501. And I have known Joy for a long time. She has phenomenally been supportive, and I love that. And I've talked before about her also serving on my Some Kind of Way Solutions board. And it's just really nice to have people that support your dreams and really can buy into the fact that moneyality is something that's needed. And I've started it, of course, for K through 12, and that's my target area. But I'm here to just kind of influence parents and guardians and grandparents that this is something that I'm sharing with you. So in turn, that you can support me when my course is ready to be launched, called Moneyality, Activate Your Mind, Circulate Your Money. That will be launching in 2023. So we're going to be excited about that part. So thank you, Joy Media Group. And the second one that I want to give a shout out to is Nick Venti Design, one-stop shop for mobile apps, animation, and web design. And he is diligently working on my website now, and he has done some really cool things. I cannot wait to have that launched out in its full entirety, so that it can be broadcast, and you can be able to go on and you'll be able to take the assessment. You'll be able to browse through it and see all the great things we're doing. I'm going to have the podcast there. I'm going to have a blog where students will be able to answer questions. So it's going to be really, really nice. It's kind of, Moneyality is a real professional thing where we want children to feel empowered. And that's one of the things that I talked about with one of my friends, that moneyality is not just about learning about how you feel and think about money, but it's also how you take those feelings and about money and incorporate them into your lives. Like, I have decided that I want to use I am statements as part of my curriculum, because when you're talking about your moneyality type, you want it to be where I am a keeper, and you take ownership to that, because it's real. It's part of who I am to say I am a keeper, and take that and then say, hey, as a keeper, these are the characteristics that I embody. And there are still things, or room for growth. And there are things that I can maybe start looking back on and saying, hey, do I want to rethink how I did that? So making I am statements, make it personal. It makes you understand that it's a part of who you are and your financial DNA. And my financial DNA lets me know that being a keeper is my number one moneyality type. And then I'm an adventurer. And my next one is a tracker. Then I am a mingler and I'm a splurger last. But I actually do embody all of them. And sometimes that is where I love the idea that I can pull from them within me to make better choices and not be so stagnant and being so rigid and not feeling that I have other options. So being rigid has gotten me into so much trouble sometimes that I would love to talk more about that at another time. But as I am talking, I see that I do have people that are on live. And if you would like to make comments on your section, I'm not sure if you're live on Facebook or YouTube, but you can type in comments live and I can respond to you. So if you feel free to do that, you want to ask me questions, I would love to have that interaction. Okay, so we've done the sponsorship. We got that out the way. We have gotten an introduction of how and what I've been up to. So now I'm ready to deep dive into, is your holiday money mindset in line with your bank account? Now, is it in line? Now, what do I mean by in line? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I see my cousin he's on YouTube. Thank you, cousin. He's such a great supporter. And cousin, if you're hearing this, like, do you feel, oh, I already know he's not probably going to be in line with no holiday mindset. I'm not even sure if he wants to buy holiday gifts. So you have to tell me that, cousin. But within your experiences, you can talk about other things you've seen, like have other people you've known had trouble with holiday money mindsets with their bank account. So I'm going to talk about me. And for me, remember, I am a keeper. So I have not always set the best budgets, but let me tell you what I do. Some things that I do is that I have traveled a lot extensively overseas, lived overseas, and just go a lot of places. And when I go a lot of places, I buy all these things that I love. And when I get back, I have like a collection of them. And so what happens is I start going through those things because I don't want to have a cluttered home, but I also like having all of my gifts and things like that. So I said, hey, I want to go through all these things and I find things that I know people that are on my list for gifts can get and that they find useful or they may love. So it goes from earring sets. It can be anything that I've bought in other countries that I buy for me. And sometimes I will tell you that I have given gifts and I was like, oh, do I really want to give that? But I have already purchased these. So it's not really like I'm going to my bank account to actually get this money because I've already uh, planned for those purchases whenever I bought them. So now I'm making these decisions. So is my bank account in line? Not so much worrying about my bank account is because I do recycle gifts and I use things that I have purchased along the way and I give them out. And sometimes I find those to be more meaningful, to be a place where it is easy for me to see like, wow, I see my best friend is on now. So I remember that if I remember that she probably would love this jewelry I got, it's easy for me to share it with somebody that I can say, hey, Loretta, you can she's going to get this gift because I believe she'll wear it. And so when I see her with it on, I'll know that it was something that I treasured, but I shared it with her. And so it also helps me not to be so selfish with my gift giving. And that has not always been easy, I'm telling you. So I have been really, really realizing that it's important to share, but also I will purchase some things. Remember, I was purchasing for children, my nieces and nephews, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to give them this year. I really do resent giving somebody money. I mean, most people say, oh, I love money, whatever. But once I give them money, it doesn't let me know if they appreciated what they got. Like, I don't even know what they're gonna get. They're not gonna probably tell me, hey, Auntie, I am buying this or that. So I don't really love the gift of money. I don't even like receiving money myself, unless you just know, you just have no idea of what I would want. Then I will accept a gift card and stuff like that. But gift cards stay with me for a long time because I rarely think about it. I even got them sometimes if I don't just go out. So with me budgeting with my bank account to see if I'm going to do purchases, that is kind of like the last resort. Before I do a budget for my bank account for gifts, I do those first steps, like go through all of my previous gifts that I have purchased that I can share with someone. And then two will be to see if there are things that they want that I don't, if I don't have access, then I'll start making the budget to say, hey, I need to get this or whatever. But otherwise, I do really pretty good. I really love gift giving. And I've talked about that before too. And I'm going to kind of stay on that topic, that I was dating a guy and we did the 12 days of Christmas. Oh my gosh, I've done it twice and it is the best time for me because I love finding the gifts that I think he would love and then writing these great notes to associate with them. But it hasn't always been favorable, I think, for him. But for me, it's really things that I think about. And I could do the 5 days of Christmas with a lot of people because I love the idea that I can do something maybe homemade or something that I have that I heard them say, and I write little notes to try to associate with them where people can kind of say, hey, that is a gift that I love, or I would have thought about. So I love that. And so if you're doing something and you really are on a budget, I talked about that before, do homemade gifts or do something, write somebody a beautiful letter and put it on some beautiful stationery and give that as a gift. Sometimes I think we really overthink it, thinking we have to put in so many dollars and cents into buying something for somebody. But honestly, we're in a time where I think we kind of could slow down and just let some people know how we feel about them and how much we love them, or, how much we treasure them. I found, that one of my favorite gifts also that I've done, I hate to kind of mention that one because I may keep doing it. So, but I am going to tell you, it's a gift that I really love and I treasure, and I give it out as an appreciation gift. That's what I'll say. And I love that one because it's really personal for me. And I think that the people that I've given it to have really loved it as well. So we're on that. And I see my cousin. He's probably like me. I don't know. Ronnie, have you taken the assessment? I need to send it to you because I do believe in giving people things that they need too. But I tell you, that is one of my drawbacks. And the reason that I kind of started Moneyality was because my nieces and nephews had made jokes about me for years that Auntie Tanya be giving you gifts that are educational. They ain't really gifts that they love. And I remember giving one my youngest brother a gift of he had allowed me to come and pick out my birthday gift one time. So for Christmas, I thought, oh, I'm going to give him a Bible. I'm going to have it inscripted with his name and stuff on it. And I gave Bibles to everybody that year. And oh my gosh, I talked to him about it and he said he wished he knew where his Bible was, but I had heard from my sister that she don't think he liked that gift, and he may not have liked it at the time, but since then, since I've talked to him, he said he did remember and that he would have loved to know where his gift is now. But I laugh so hard when I think about that because he was a young guy. I guess here you go, and here I go giving him a Bible talking about with his name on it. And I'm thinking now it's funny as heck because I could imagine he wasn't going to church. And I guess I'm trying to impose that on him. I was like really into pushing that agenda. So I was giving him a Bible, but that is funny. Like I have had to stop giving people all the things I think they need because unless I hear you say that, I'm really not probably going to do it anymore. I kind of start asking people around the way, like, what do I hear them say they need or whatever. Um, let's see. My sister, Shay is on, is it a $2 bill? I give $2 bills for birthdays now, because my aunt passed away. My aunt Tootsie, her name was Sarah Watkins, and oh my gosh, she was the queen for us and our family, and she gave out $2 bills for our birthdays. And can you imagine? She used to send them out to like my family, our family of people. So it wasn't just me, nieces, nephews, and she had all our addresses. And she did it. And I guess she probably kind of started at the beginning of the month. But when she passed away, I started that because I thought birthdays are special. So I do it for birthdays, but I also will put them in throughout different gifts or whatever time as well. So thanks, sister, for reminding me that I do that. And maybe I should start for Christmas or for just gifts. But and most of the time in gifts, I do give out those $2 bills. I see my nail girl, she does a great job. And so she gets $2 bills. So I know for holidays or whatever. What else is going on? My next question, I need somebody to respond to me on. So if you're not doing your budget, if you haven't done a budget, kind of consider how you want to do a budget. But another question I would want to know is, let's see. I need to know, are Black Fridays and Cyber Monday sales really discounted? What do y'all think about that? Because for me, I don't think so. I mean, this is my personal opinion. And I also did a show about it 2 weeks ago. Go back to YouTube at the Miss Moneyalogist and look at that one, because I had done some research and realized that all the sales that they be talking about, Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales, they're not really taking a lot of money off, and the percentages are not that grand. And I will always say, because of the keeper in me, is that I agree, Loretta. I don't think so, right? So I will say the keeper in me, I will wait to after Christmas. Because I don't have children, it really is in my best interest to wait, because I could then go and get all their gifts. But I do understand parents that have children, they want their child to be excited on that day. They want to go out and purchase things and say, hey, you got this Santa Claus, or however they want to roll with that. But for me, those after Christmas sales, oh my gosh, that's when they kind of clear it out, getting us ready for the spring. And I would always recommend that, not just always because I'm a keeper and I'm frugal or whatever, but because it just makes sense sometimes. But that's not for everyone, because a splurger is going to be out there circulating that money early. Sister Shay, don't be out there splurging early, girl. You can wait till after Christmas, because I'm telling you, some of the hottest things that are out there, most of them have a shelf value that's going to decrease. Like, it's not too many things that don't decrease in sale price to make it a sale price, unless you're in the Pradas and the Tiffany's and things like that. And I do have a funny story that I'm gonna tell about Tiffany's. I remember when I had really thought I was doing well financially, and I went to Tiffany's, and I always loved the idea of going to Tiffany's. And I said, okay, I'm going to Tiffany's. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to find something I love. And so when I entered the door, there was a Black sales lady, and I was really happy. I saw her. So I go in there, got the Black sales lady. And I said, oh, excuse me, ma'am, can you show me where the clearance is, the discounts? And she said, oh, baby, Tiffany doesn't have a clearance or sales table or whatever. And I said, wow, I didn't know that. Right. So I was I was somewhat embarrassed, but not really because it was a teachable moment for me. And I just think about that now that I want Moneyality to be a Tiffany's or a Prada or something where why am I discounting something that teaches you how to live a better life, how to put your life in order? So, are my Moneyality course prices going to be discounted? I'm going to say no, because you need to invest in yourself. But that's just my funny story about Tiffany. So, but I did end up purchasing something that was at a reasonable cost, but my frugalness probably did not get me what I really would have liked. So hopefully I'll be able to go in Tiffany's one day and just pick out what I want and not even worry about the cost. So now going back to, I see my sister says, I love Black Friday sales. I have seen some really cool things too, because I know that that was a big thing in our town in Winona, Mississippi, where everybody met at the Walmart. You could see them, and I never really got in the lines because my mom worked there, and I wasn't trying to go in lines to wait for all these things. But I have gone the next day and got like amazing sheet sets and stuff like that that I like. I love really great sheet sets. So that makes up for some of the prices. So I'm not saying, sister, that there are not good sales on Black Friday, but I don't always think that their sales prices are in line with the prices that they could be a little cheaper or whatever. But again, it varies probably for product to product too. So I'm just gonna say I think you can find some good deals, but it's just so much in your face so fast, and that it kind of puts me in the mood that like they're herding cattle by just like right now, you got all these Black Friday specials in grocery stores. You got them in CVS. You got them in, I went in Sally's yesterday. Everybody has Black Friday specials. I'm like, really? Really? Are you really discounting a whole lot for just Black Fridays, or have you gouged these prices up? But I don't know. This is why I'm really asking you guys, because I don't do it enough. I don't be at Black Fridays enough to even leave my home to go out and interact. And then what? You can get it online now. Oh my gosh. It really takes the joy out of it. And unfortunately, in my hometown, they closed the Walmart. So that was like the big joy for everybody to go to Walmart, people all in line. I'm walking through the line talking, but now we don't have a Walmart in my hometown. And so now everybody kind of just at home buying offline. So where's the joy in that? Because I'm a social person. I love to be out socializing. Um, let's see. I see Charles says that you just gave me a great idea, a gift card and a nice note reminding them the card will have its greatest value after Christmas. That's a good idea. And I'm glad I was able to help you. So, hey, Charles, you are welcome with that. And what else you're saying, Loretta? They usually have only a limited supply to get you there. Yes, that is true. So how many times have you been in line? And then let's not mention on the news the rush of people that are getting hurt trying to run in these stores. And even when I have been overseas, I spent 1 year bringing in Christmas in Namibia, like Windhoek. Yeah, I was in Namibia in the city of Windhoek, which is the capital, and they hadn't really gotten big into the holiday shopping like they are now. And so I just kind of saw people buying little things. I mean, they did more traditional stuff. They have big feasts and stuff like that, but it's not a slew of the gift giving like we have in America. But since that time, I have seen in South Africa, because they have like everything we have here, like in these huge malls and stuff like that, where they have had trampees of people trying to rush in for 20 microwaves, and you got 200 people. Like, let's be realistic, but that's the gimmick, like you say, Loretta, to get people in, to have them thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to go get this 78-inch TV and stuff like that. So hey, to each their own. Let's go with another question. Let's see what else is going on out here. What's another question I need to answer? Um, Let's go with this one. Is inflation causing a setback to consumers this year? For me, it's not, because remember, I am not necessarily budgeting. My bank account is already in line with the minimal amount of gifts that I'm giving. My financial situation has somewhat changed, but not the idea of my personal gifts that I probably will make or share with people. It's something I cannot stress again. I cannot stress it enough that if you have things that are in your closets that still got tags on them, you got things that are shoes or hats and stuff that you're not wearing and they're still in really good condition, and you know somebody that might would use that, you better put that in a box and put a bow on it, because we can really start minimizing and being minimalist on some of the things. And that's not really being cheap, saying, oh, I just don't want to spend money. That's just being realistic. Like, let's minimize on some of the things we got in our homes, things that we know we're never going to touch. I could go to my mom's house right now and there are tags on so many things, and I have gotten some of them unbeknownst to her, other than she'll know this now, is that she has things with tags on them that I be thinking I can use this. So she don't really need to go buy me no gift. But also it's just things that I think she could refurbish and just like put out there and give away. Like, she gave some really cool gifts to us. I think my sister and I might have got some things, and some of those things I've thought about, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to use this. So I'm not going to say what they are, because they may be coming to you this year. So I don't know. And you know what? I am okay with you thinking, wow, Tanya gave me this. I wonder how long she had it. That's on you to try to worry about that. Don't worry about all that. Just appreciate the gift for what it is, because I'm thinking about you, because I love you and I want to share something with you that I think you can use. So that's all that really matters, right? So that is where we are now. Going back to, is inflation causing a setback to consumers this year? How are you all feeling about inflation? I mean, we know gas prices are high, so does that mean people are not traveling as much and they're not able to see their families? I mean, are people really traveling for the Thanksgiving? Like, is that going to be a good day to travel this year for that? Has it been in the past? I mean, because I am only 120 some miles from my family for the holidays, sometimes it's easy to just drive down there and not even worry about gas or anything, because we normally have a really big family day for Thanksgiving, but that's not the case for everybody. And then, are we really doing Black Friday? Is Black Friday prices increasing? Because even when I go in the grocery store right now, I will tell you, I go to Sprouts. And Sprouts has these animal cookies that I love. They're Sprouts branded animal cookies. Don't worry about it. I don't need them, because I know I don't need them, but I love them, right? And so I remember when they were 99 cents, and I'm talking about since COVID, and now they are 2.99, and I'm like, I see now it's not hard for me to diet anymore, because I found it hard to pay 2.99 for something that was 99 less than 2 years ago. I know I can got to get with the flow of that, but in reality, I'm like, whoa, I don't want that. I don't want that. And so I will answer this question. The question is, what percentage of your income should you budget for gift giving? And that is a great question. So I will say this, talking about the moneyality types, I will say that one of my thoughts would be is to, depending on your moneyality type, for a splurger, for a splurger, someone we know that loves to circulate extremely a lot for their gifts, and they like gift giving and things like that. I will always say before, okay, as part of that answer is, are you getting bonuses for the holidays? Like some people get Christmas bonuses and stuff like that. If you're getting a bonus, I mentioned in my last episode, you need to possibly give half of that into a financial account where you can save it. But the other half, go for it. Hey, invest it into some things you want. So like that would be of a bonus. So I would say 50% of a bonus. But as far as it comes to your actual income, I have always been very, very meticulous in knowing that I don't even do a budget of a percentage until I know my household bills are being covered. So after that money, like I know for myself that like I lived out of 40% of my income. So 40% of my income was free. That meant I had paid 60% of it toward bills, investments, or whatever. So out of that 40% for holiday spending, I would easily say, hey, do 20% and just kind of save the other 20 for future purchases or maybe some last minute things you want to do for the beginning of the next year. But that would totally depend on how well you've already been managing your finances. If you are already financially depleted or feeling like you don't have enough, then I would say the very minimal is to redo your list. Redo your list and see really how many people you really want to purchase something for. And out of that list, if there is nothing that you have that you already can make for them or give to them, then I would say, wow, 5%. I would say easily do maybe 5% or under and just really try to stick to that percentage, because why do more and get yourself in more of a financial debt to, as some people say, live my life or whatever. But that would just be a suggestion, like anything between maybe 1 to 5% if you're already in a financial bind. If you're not so much in a financial bind, maybe 5 to 5, maybe 5 to 10. And then like the highest I would go is 20 for anybody across the board, because that is a reasonable number. It's more than your tithes, but it's less than half for sure. So anything 20% or less, I would say, yeah, put that aside for gift giving. That is just a standard I would recommend, because holidays are once a year, like as far as gift giving for Christmas. But if to make that question even more broader is start saving monthly for having a budget for gift giving. And that's how I've always done. Like I have a certain amount of money in an account that I use monthly. I put money in for gift giving, and that's for birthdays, anniversary, holidays, whatever. So by the time I get down to December, I still have probably a overflow, because I don't know somebody that I give something to every month. Some months I may skip. So in your best interest, it would be to start right now, not waiting to January 1st, but start for December. We got 1 week of December. So start now for December. Start putting a percentage away for your gift giving. And my first account that I had was a Christmas Club account. I tell that story that my mom told me that she bought our gifts out of her Christmas Club account when I was a little girl. I never forgot that. And I remember having her open me a Christmas account when I was little. And I put money in that account all the way through high school. I mean, I have always been a fanatic saver anyway, but that Christmas Club account, it was pennies, quarters, or whatever. I don't remember the percentage at that time. I think I just enjoyed whatever money I had to go put it in there. I remember the little register book that they gave at the Bank of Winona to track it. So I learned mathematics through saving my money for that. But that's a good question, Charles, and I hope I've answered it. If not, you can continue to ask me and I'll follow up with that. So that's that question. So inflation, no one else had any questions about inflation with that. So we're going to go to my next question. What is this one? Have you budgeted for the holiday gifts? That's kind of something we've already talked about. We talked about the Black Friday. So those are my major questions that I had. Well, we have about 10 more minutes. So if anyone has any more questions for me, I would love to talk about them. But in the meantime, I also want to talk about children and how you get your children on board to understand gift giving. Something that I witnessed once was a young girl. She was maybe 9 or 10. Her dad had a business and it was his birthday. And so she was giving her dad money for his birthday. And he thought it was funny. And I did too, because in her mind, she was wanting to give him something that I guess she thought maybe he could use, but he just kind of laughed because I don't always think we're preparing our children for understand what gift giving is all about. And most of the time we give kids money and we're, hey, here's $1 or whatever. But we're not setting them up for success by having them think that money is the best gift for gift giving or whatever. In some instances, a child, I would recommend, shouldn't even give an adult money for a gift. Like as the Miss Moneyalogist, based on my understanding of the research, that it would not be the best experience for me to think that they're giving an adult money. But what I would recommend is that we teach them how to start being more observant, maybe of their mothers, their fathers, or, start asking questions like, Dad, could you use this? Or Mom, could you use this? And start hearing things to understand about what would they purchase. And then that gets them into a store to understand that purchasing means you have this dollar amount, but now you got to have enough, not just $20. You got to have tax. You got to add that to it. How you getting one thing or two. So it helps them then be interactive with the money. And that is so much better to me than just saying, oh, I'm going to give my dad $10. I'm going to give my whatever. I mean, like, that's not allowing them to get the actual interaction and the feel of being responsible adults. Because why are we starting later? We need to start early. Like if it's a 4-year-old and you want them to buy a gift for their dad for a holiday, Father's Day, or whatever, we need to start showing them the reality of what does that look like? What is that going into a store? What does that look like ordering it online? Like, are you using a credit card? How does that look? Like, those are times when those are not taboo topics anymore. That is what we should be instilling in our young children. And that's what Moneyality is about, is to allow them to see and experience dealing with how they feel and think about money at a young age, because we're just saying, oh, here's $5, here's this or whatever. Money is great, but having it in your hand and not having any method of understanding what to do with it, it's just like putting, I don't know what's a really great example, but just like giving somebody something that they have no idea of how to use or manage. And that's the purpose of Moneyality, is to understand how to use, manage, and circulate your money where it becomes part of who you are. It is part of your financial DNA. I cannot say that enough. It is part of your financial DNA. And the earlier we are with them and starting to talk about it, even when students are not students per se, but My niece, for sure, I remember so many times that I have talked to them and said, hey, um, are you getting your mom something for Mother's Day? Are you getting your mom something for whatever? And they are kind of clueless. Like they don't know. They're saying, I don't have no money or whatever. And sometimes we don't even trust them with the money. We'll say, oh, we're going to give your dad something. And you buy it, you purchase it, and then they may help wrap it and you give it to them. But hey, no, let's get them into the whole experience. Let them even go through a catalog. Let them look in a store and browse through it. We dictate all of that. We determine how students or children are introduced into financial literacy. We do that. Now we can say like, hey, I was 5 years old, but I remember I saw my mom do that Christmas club account. I didn't just come up with that off the top of my head. I saw her do that. I took that. Now, whether my sister and brothers thought, oh, that was an idea they wanted to do, no, their personalities are not the same as mine. But for me, I was exposed to that. I saw that. She didn't come to me and say, hey, Tanya, do you want to do a Christmas club account? But I already had started saving for my snowballs, remember? So I saved for snowballs so I could buy them at the community concession stand. So it's all about when we as adults want to change the mindset of our children, our nieces and nephews. This is a village job. This is not just all about parents, because when I have a child in my care, I am teaching them anything that I feel will move them forward. It's not, oh, I got to be secretive. And if I say something to a child and their parent disagree, I will gladly take responsibility for that. And I will move on their direction. If they say, don't talk to my child about money, that's fine. But at the end of in initiating it, it's something that I am going to do. I feel like I'm compelled to not leave somebody ill informed, as I've learned from just talking to people. We're not always just so ignorant. We're just ill-informed. And I feel like that may be a better choice of words, because being ignorant makes people feel some kind of way about that. But finishing up, I will say that I have totally enjoyed my live, and I hope to be able to come on and do more lives with you and to talk more openly about my successes and my shortcomings as far as being able to do moneyality. I mean, I am sitting here and I can tell you many times that I have been such a stickler that I have missed out on deals, like maybe even a Black Friday deal. I probably would be overwhelmed with that, because as a keeper, and you got Target, you got Best Buy, and if I wanted a television set and I'm trying to go through all of these different ads to see which one has the best offer, I would be overwhelmed. That would shut me down. And that's why I don't really try to be really engaged in that, because as a keeper, I'm looking for the best deal, but I can also be overwhelmed easily with trying to find the best deal, and that I will miss out on something because I will misgauge it or say, oh, I'm not sure about that. But otherwise, again, I want to just thank all the people who interacted with me. I so appreciate it. Thank you, Loretta, Charles, my sister Shay, my cousin Ronnie. It has been great. I hope you all have a great holiday. I am going to say that I'm going to get my life in order and start pulling from those gifts and things that I have stored, that I gotta figure out if I'm really wanting to relinquish them or keep them for myself, and then start purchasing other things. But I haven't done my list, and that's something I have to do, is to do my list and see who am I purchasing gifts for, and like where are they fitting into the realm of, do I need to get new gifts? Do I need to recycle something, or how I'm gonna do that? What else is going on? Oh, so before I also close out, I will be telling you that um Moneyality is going to start doing more marketing, where I'm going to do some more lives, but I also want to be able to have more people to understand that moneyality and understanding how you feel and think about it is not in a way that how would I say it's a process. That's what I want you to understand. It's a process. And a lot of these things that I'm talking about, the expectation that, oh, this should happen overnight, it's not. But because of our financial DNA, a lot of us have these values instilled inside of us, and they are dormant for some of the moneyality types. Some of them are very prevalent and very strong. Like being a keeper is very strong in my life. Being an adventurer is next, and it's strong, but it normally gets tapered when it comes to how I'm going to um, circulate my money. Like I rarely I'm a risk taker, but I rarely will not pay a bill on a risk that, oh, I want to see if it gets cut off. But I will say that what I have started doing is that to be more in tune with being a risk taker is that I don't think I mentioned that I will walk away. Like I went to a concert with my sister, a comedian, to see Chris Tucker last week, and I went with my sister Shay, and we were there, and I went to a slot machine, and I can say that as an adventurer, I do have an addictive mindset because it's hard. I'll be in there for the bells and whistles. And so another proud moment as I'm wrapping up tonight is that I went in, enjoyed the show, had a great time hanging out with my sister, went to an actual slot machine, the one that I felt was my favorite, someone was sitting at. So I said, hey, let me try something else. And I did. And I won like $300. And I said, wow, of course, everything in me was like, keep going. You about to hit the jackpot, girl. But I got up and I took the cash out and I went to another machine and I won an additional $100. And I thought, wow. Oh, let me go back. I only started with 50. So I'm already ahead. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So of course I did pay the 100 back, but I walked out of there with the 300. And I'm going to tell you guys, that's a rarity for me. I would have played all of that back thinking I'm about to hit the jackpot, because a risk taker, as an adventurer, as a risk taker, I'm always thinking I'm about to hit the jackpot. So it makes a big difference in having that control and that discipline. So continue to watch Moneyality to learn the strategies and the tips to help you know that this is a process. This is not an overnight success story that I'm sharing. This is a story that I'm sharing that will help build better lives financially, not just for us as adults, but really to capture the hearts and the understanding of children and how they feel and think about money. So this is it for November. We're coming into December, so look forward to having people continue to like and subscribe to my channel. And December is here. Like we're there. Like, so enjoy your holiday. I hope everybody's going to enjoy your family day or your Thanksgiving day, but also just know that I am here sharing love for Moneyality, because Moneyality helps you understand how you think and feel about moving forward with your financial DNA and making sure that you are leaving ideas, positive inspiration, family generational wealth, and all these different things to build a better world going forward. I love you and I love being the Miss Moneyalogist. So y'all have an amazing, amazing holiday. And again, you can email me at moneyalitycourse@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and be able to at the Miss Moneyalogist. And it is just fascinating to be able to spend time with you guys. So thank you, and take care, and happy holidays.
Moneyality with the Moneyalogist, Miss Tanya Collins.